Yeah, so if you're, looking to go down the trading journey, I think it's very important to understand that, success is not going to happen overnight. And everyone's journey is different. There are some people that, might pick it up in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else.
Welcome to TradeHappy. Welcome back to another Traders Podcast episode. Thank you for all the support with the podcast. We know that you guys have really been enjoying the FTMO traders coming on and sharing their experience. We do have another one today. He's a FTMO funded trader. He was an ex-Marine, and he also shares some of those experiences and gives you guys some of the tips on routines and discipline that he's learned over the years. So please welcome Raheel. So for anyone that doesn't know who you are, can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Rohil Ali, and I got into trading about a year and a half ago. And prior to that, I was in the Marine Corps. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was kind of looking to see, where I want to go in life. And I tried many different businesses. I did social media marketing. I did drop shipping, you, everything you can name or look up online. I tried it. And then I ran across Forex. And, I absolutely fell in love with it. There was just something about it that I loved. Just me and my computer and my own knowledge. I don't have to deal with clients. I don't have to deal with anyone else. It is just me and my mind.
Mm.
Um, you know, that's something that really attracted me to trading. And ever since, I just fell in love with it. And, no matter the obstacles I had, I just kept pushing and pushing. And I think that passion kicks in. And that's what makes me so motivated to continue on this journey. And, you know, and just enjoy what I do every single day to, the fullest.
Mm. And you're an FTMO trader, if I'm right?
hmm
Yeah, so when did you actually find out about FTMO? Like how long in your trading journey did that take?
Yeah, so originally I started out, trading my personal capital and, I kept going through that, normal trading cycle of, you invest your own money and then, you blow your accounts. That's just part of the journey and you just got to trust the process. And I kept doing that and doing that. And, eventually I got to the point where I was growing my personal capital and, I became profitable. But then, I came across FTMO through a couple of my friends that are traders. I was able to kind of learn about FTMO, hear about FTMO. I did my own research. And then, just the fact that you can get funded, 25K to 100K capital, and, have multiple accounts with them, that was very eye opening. And I kind of came to the realization that why am I trading my own capital and putting my own capital at risk when I can trade for a proprietary firm and, I'm not at risk for anything and that I can trade larger capital than I personally have. And, it can be life changing. That's how you can actually grow your personal capital, over time and then eventually start trading your own personal capital. But yeah, I came across FTMO through some friends and, I was like, I'm gonna give it a try, and it's been great ever since. It's definitely been life changing, and it's been an amazing experience.
And when did you have to change your strategy at all to fit with the FTMO challenge? Or was it just kind of clean?
So the one thing I love about FTMO is they really don't care how you trade in your trading style as long as you follow their trading objectives and you follow their rules, right? And that's one thing I love about FTMO is that they don't restrict your trading style and you have the freedom to trade however you want as long as you follow the rules that they give you, which is pretty much money management. All you have to make sure is like risk management, money management, very important, how much to risk, which is obviously one of the most important parts about trading. If you're not using risk management, you're not going to be a profitable trader, right? But as long as you follow that, you can trade however you want and whatever your trading style is. And, I haven't had to change anything in my trading style. Um, the only thing that I made sure I was following was risk management that I always follow. And with that, I've been successful with FTMO, and I think that's like the number one key to being successful as an FTMO trader is risk management.
Can you briefly describe your trading strategy?
Yeah, so my trading strategy is confluence. So over time, I use like trend lines, I use Fibonacci, retracements, support and resistance, and supply and demand. And over time, I went through like the basics of trading, and I learned all these different strategies, tools, and then eventually I kind of created my own confluence, which is using multiple different things to align in order for me to enter a position or a trade, right? So, for example, I have 2 to 3 confirmations before I enter any trade. I don't enter off of one confirmation, like, for example, a touch of trend line. I will not enter simply off of that. I have to have at least 2 confirmations before I enter any trade, such as a Fibonacci retracement with trend line, or a support and resistance break and retest. So with that confluence strategy, I have multiple confirmations before entering a trade. And that gives me confidence in my own trading ability and that position. So that's where my psychology is strong, is because I'm confident that, I have multiple confirmations of why I am in this trade. So over time, I kind of, customize my own strategy. And I think that's important for every trader. Like, I know a lot of traders go out and buy courses and, learn from, Forex gurus or, academies. And eventually you learn. And that's something I did. That was my journey. I invested in courses, knowledge, and taught myself all these different, strategies. And eventually I came to the understanding is that it's how I see the market, because someone else will see the market different than I see the market. So over time, I customize my own strategy on how I see the market and what works for me. And that's how I really became successful and excelled in trading.
Yeah. How long did it actually take you to develop your strategy to where you were confident and where you are right now?
I would definitely say I would say about a year in, or 8 months to a year in, is where I you know I think I hit my breakthrough in my profit profitability. Before that, it was like on and off. I was struggling because I was trying new things. I was kind of experimenting with my strategy, trying to find what works for me. And around 8 months to a year is where my profitability and consistency started kicking in, and I started doing really well. And then I've stuck with that ever since. And it feels good to finally accomplish that, because trading is definitely a roller coaster. Sometimes you think you got it, you're there, and then the markets hit you hard, and you have to adjust. You have to get back up, and then you have to figure out what you're doing wrong, and you have to keep pushing forward. And yeah, there's no better feeling than finally seeing my losses, my failures show me what I need to do in order to succeed in the markets. And it's absolutely great feeling getting there.
Yeah. And was it a difficult process for you to actually become a profitable trader?
It was a difficult process, and a a lot of people ask me how I was able to gain profitability so fast, because sometimes it does take 2 years. It takes a long time to gain profitability in the market, but for me, like I told you, I had a passion for it. I grew my passion for trading. And, every single day for hours and hours and hours, I wouldn't be going out. I wouldn't be hanging out with my friends. I would be home and I would be on the charts back testing. I would be, learning more, learning more and learning more. And for hours and hours and hours, and I would barely get any sleep. It's just because I was so motivated to become a profitable trader. And I knew that's what I wanted. And, nothing was going to stop me, and nothing else mattered until I accomplished that. And I think it was a very difficult journey, because I would lose a lot of money in the beginning, because I would keep funding my account. I kept going and going and going, and then I fell on my face and I got back up. I fell on my face and got back up. And there was times that I had a good month, and I thought, okay, I'm there, I made it. And then the next month the market would slam me. And it's trading is just a very difficult journey. If you don't want it bad enough and you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you won't be able to push through to your breakthrough. And That's something I can say confidently. Um, but because of that, putting in all those hours every single day and not taking a break is, what really helped me get through that barrier of the difficulty of trading, because trading is very, very difficult. Um, but as long as you work hard and you put the hours in, you can push through those obstacles and barriers and achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, and what advice would you give to any traders that maybe are starting their journey or possibly looking to do FTMO?
Yeah, so if you're, looking to go down the trading journey, I think it's very important to understand that, success is not going to happen overnight. And everyone's journey is different. There are some people that, might pick it up in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else. And that's something I caught myself doing. Was I was comparing myself to, all these gurus like, oh, I can get there too, and they did it in this time, they did it in this time. But in reality, it's about your own journey and your own hard work and when you're going to get there. So I would say, that my biggest advice is focusing on your own journey, staying in your own lane, and focusing on your own progress. Um, and then definitely, definitely, definitely learn. A lot of people just want to jump in and start making money. And the number one advice I have is take your time and learn, back test, put in the hours, before you go and, lose money in the markets. And that's very important because that can really destroy your psychology. And, working on your psychology, because my opinion is trading is like 80 to 90% psychology and like 10 to 20% skill. So I would definitely focus on psychology and then obviously risk management. Those are the two most important parts of trading, in my opinion. And if you don't have those two things, you cannot be a profitable trader in the market. Um, and then for going down the route for FTMO, I think, you know, the one thing I like about FTMO is when you are taking their challenge and verification to get funded, um, it's definitely a good process because you're not trading your own capital and losing your own money and hurting yourself financially. You're going through their challenge and verification, which is gonna let you know that, hey, you can trade. You are following the rules. You are successful in the challenge and verification, and will really show you where your progress is. And they give you an analysis of your trading, even if you don't pass, right, and you don't get funded. They tell you your performance. They give you a whole review, and you can really look at that and work on what you need to work on with those analytics, right? And um, I would just, for like any advice with FTMO, I would just say focus on the trades and not hitting those 10% targets, because that will really mess with your head. I think if you focus on your trades and your positions instead of looking at the numbers, and if you're to your goal yet, you will get there without, you know, even noticing it. Like you'll hit your 10% target, you'll hit your 5% target in verification. But I think that's definitely a key component. And, 100% would recommend FTMO because, you know, you're not going to have the same emotional attachment to as you do to your personal capital. And that's huge because obviously if you're not making six figures already and you're depositing like $1,000, $2,000, and that's most likely going to be hitting you financially, you're going to be really attached to that money and you're going to be very emotional, and you have to be emotionless while trading. But with FTMO it's different because it's not your own capital and you don't have that personal attachment to that capital, right? So it takes away that aspect, which is huge. And you know that's just going to be a better experience for a new trader, or someone who has a little bit of experience, or even experienced traders. You're just going to get that detachment from that capital, and that's huge for your trading.
Yeah, and you touched on like the difference between trading your own capital and trading their capital. Do you
Hmm.
think that if you're a losing trader on a small account but it's your own money, you once you go to FTMO and get the larger amount of capital, you can
Hmm.
be profitable?
Not necessarily. There's different aspects that go into that. Just because if you're not able to be profitable on a small account, then you're most likely not going to be able to be profitable on an FTMO account. But there's different variables to that, right? Because if you're over leveraging on a small account, trying to make a lot of money so you can grow that account quickly, that could be a reason why you're like, losing and not profitable on that account, is because you keep blowing it because you're over leveraging, right? Like if you walk into a hedge fund and interview to be a trader there, if you tell them you risk anywhere above 3%, they're just gonna laugh in your face, right? Because every professional trader is risking 1 to 3%, but a lot of traders trading on like a $500, $1,000 account are risking like 5 to 10%, and they might win 2, 3 trades and then lose their next two or three, and they'll blow their account because they keep upping their lot size and they're trading like 1, 2, 3 lots on a $1,000, $2,000 account, and that's definitely not what you should be doing. And yeah, and but if you can, if that is the reason, and you go to FTMO and you're not over leveraging and you're actually using 1 to 3% risk management, and you're winning at least 50 to 51% of your trades, you can definitely pass, right? But like on a small account, if you're losing 50% of your trades, you're over leveraging, your account's gone, right? So it depends on the trader and what they're doing wrong, but I definitely think going down the FTMO route, it's going to hold you to certain rules, and it's going to give you boundaries, right, that you wouldn't have on your personal account, because, stuff like revenge trading, fear of the market, trying to make your money back after your losses. You can definitely easily do that on your personal account because there's no one telling you, oh, you have this loss limit, your daily max loss, or your overall max loss, right? You're held to rules, and it's going to keep you disciplined and force you to be disciplined, right? Versus on your personal account, you lose $500, you're like, I want to make that back right now. So you go enter on USDJPY, and then you lose another $500, right? Because you over leverage trying to make that 500 back, and you pretty much blown your account there. So I've seen it all. I've been through it all, and it's just, I wish I knew about FTMO when I first started trading. But I went through the journey, and it's just taught me a lot, even trading my own personal capital. And anyone that asks me about trading, I always guide them to FTMO and tell them not to, deposit 500, 1,000, $2,000. I truly believe with trading, it's best to have, trading is a business at the end of the day, right? And for any business, you need like $25,000 to invest, right? Before you start a business, you're not just going to start a business with $500 to $1,000, right? Depending on obviously what business you're starting. Um, But that's what I always tell people. Trading is a business. It's not like, a get rich quick scheme. It's like you will not make a lot of money overnight or in a week or in 2 weeks, right? It's a business you're investing in. You're going to have to get through these obstacles. You're going to have to find out how to make your business profitable. And that will take time. And you really need to have that large sum of capital to see the profits you want to see, right? Because people want to see $1,000, $2,000 profits, or even 500, 600, $700 profits a day. But that's just not realistic on a $500 account. You need to have that 25K, 50K capital to see the profits you want to see. And if you're not seeing the profits you want to see, you're just going to make bad decisions on a smaller account. And it's not going to be good for you, your trading psychology, or you're not going to be in trading for the long term. And if you want to be in trading for the long term, you got to be a professional. You got to use risk management, because if you're not using risk management, it's going to be the death of you as a trader.
Yeah. And what do you think you did well during your FTMO challenge?
During my FTMO challenge, something I did well was I used risk management, right? And I know I keep saying risk management is very important, because it really, really is because if you're using risk management, even if you win 50 to 51% of your trades, like I told you earlier, you can still be a profitable trader, right? You don't have to have an 80%, 70%, 90% win rate to be a profitable trader. And using risk management, your wins will always outweigh your losses, right? So even if you have losses, they are less than your wins, right? So you're going to remain profitable. And for the FTMO challenge, I was using 2%, 1.5 to 2% risk. And I think that was a good risk percentage to take, just knowing you have to hit 10% target in 30 days. Versus on 1% risk or less, you have to take a lot of trades in order to achieve that, versus I was just taking quality trades within the 30 days. I wasn't trading every single day. I was doing 1.5 to 2% risk, taking quality trades with 2 to 3 confirmations. And I think within, I would say about 3 to 5 trades of just quality trades, you can definitely hit that 10% target. And I think a lot of people going into that challenge, seeing that 10% target, think you have to take so many trades within 30 days, when in reality, you only have to take a couple of trades, quality trades, in order to hit your target. It obviously depends on your trading style, if you're a scalper or if you're an intraday trader or if you're a swing trader, right? It all depends on that as well. But yeah, one thing that I think I did do well on that challenge and verification phase was I used risk management. I stayed disciplined, took quality trades, and I made sure I had multiple confirmations with my confluence before I entered any trades. I didn't overtrade. I didn't, you know, I kept my psychology strong through that whole process.
Yeah, so coming from a military background, what advice would you give to someone who struggles with the discipline or the patience when trading?
Um, you know, Even though I was in the military prior to this, I did go through that discipline, and I was taught discipline. You know, uh, I was a Marine, so like you have to go through a lot of difficult training. You have to go through hell pretty much in order to become a Marine. And even though I went through all of that, one thing I can say about trading is it is just different. Like no matter how disciplined you are, you really have to change yourself to become a trader. It's another type of discipline. Greed kicks in a lot. You're dealing directly with money, right? And when greed kicks in, it kicks in any human being. I don't think I've met anyone where, as a trader, that they didn't go through that greed phase, or greed still gets to traders that I know that are very, very successful traders, right? It still hits them, right? So I think trading is a whole nother beast, no matter what military training you have. Obviously, there might be some people who naturally have that emotionless, um, you know, control over their emotions. But for me, I would say, even though I went through that discipline and that training through the Marine Corps, I still had a difficult time with discipline trading, because it's just a different type of discipline. It's not like, making sure um, not making sure your bed's made, your room's clean, none of that stuff, right? Or, going through training and being in an exercise and making sure you're alert. Trading is dealing with money, and money can get the best of you, right? So I think that when you're becoming a trader, it's a different type of discipline you have to gain in the markets. And, you have to go through that process, and you have to learn from your mistakes in order to get that discipline. You have to learn from your failures. And I think that's just the process of trading. But I definitely do think one thing that helped me through my military training was to never give up, and, push through the obstacles and go head on with the challenge. Um, I think that's one thing that my military training taught me, because I know, a lot of people that jump into trading, and after, 6 months of just not being profitable and losing, they quit, right? And one thing that really helped me push through was um, just knowing that I can't quit, and I have to keep pushing, and I have to keep learning, and I have to get back up when I fall on my face. And that's something the Marine Corps taught me, is that I can accomplish and overcome any obstacle that comes my way. Um, and I think out of all my military training, that was what helped me become a profitable trader. That's what really helped me break through to where I am now. And, again, just trading is a whole nother discipline and that's my personal opinion. I think it's just a whole nother discipline you have to go through when you're dealing directly with money. Um, it's like nothing I've faced before. And it was a very difficult journey, but it's made me a stronger person going through
Yeah,
that.
I think that being a trader is very much like the athlete. Like you have to
Hmm.
work on your psychology and everything like that much more than people imagine.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess kind of leading on from what you just touched on, do you have a routine, or do you have any advice for someone that wants to build a routine that can help them with FTMO?
Yeah, so my routine, along with my trading, because my routine, sets me up for my trading every single day, is that I wake up and, I work out. That's the first thing I do. I get my mind active. And then after I work out, I don't look at the charts. This is after I gain profitability. Not when I was, studying and trying to figure out what I need to do in order to become a profitable trader. That's when I would study for hours whenever I had time. But once I did become a FTMO trader and I did become a profitable trader, I would wake up, I will work out, and then I will go have breakfast, and then I will go get all the other things that I need to get done that day. And I will not look at the charts. I will not look at trading. I won't think about trading. And, I will continue on my day, get everything I need to get done. And then I come home and then I, start my markups for that night for London session and New York session. And then I do my markups and then I wait for those setups to happen. And I enter those trades, go to sleep, I wake up for New York and I do the same thing over again. And then I get up the next day. But on the weekends, I stay away from the charts. I relax. I reset my psychology. I reset my mind. If I had a bad week or if I had a good week, I don't let myself get overconfident and I don't get too down on myself. I completely reset, relax, um, and just make sure that I'm ready for that next week going in strong, whether I had a good week or a bad week. Because again, if you get too overconfident in the markets, you're gonna destroy yourself, and if you get too down on yourself, that's not gonna do you any good either. So I just make sure that I'm, meditating. I use an app called Headspace to make sure that my mind is clear and I'm not too stressed out, because at the end of the day, the most powerful tool a trader has is their mind. So meditation is important. I think fitness is very important because again, it also teaches you discipline, right? So when I work out, I have a routine, and then when I trade, I have a routine. I have a trading plan. I follow a set of rules, right? And working out also, you know, gives you that structure, and it keeps you active and it keeps your mind active, right? Staying healthy is very important as well, not just sitting behind your computer all day. Because as a trader, you're sitting behind your computer for hours and hours. Um, Sometimes it depends on the day and how much you're trading and what strategy you're using. But I think working out is very important, meditating is very important, and just making sure your mind is clear and you're relaxed, and not stressing yourself out too much and not getting overconfident. So I think as long as you can fit things in your routine that help you meditate, help you relax, and also keep you active, that's very, very important. So that you don't get lazy, you don't become a couch potato, none of that, because that's definitely not going to help you as a trader, right? Um, Definitely, I read books as well. That's something that I do, personal development. Um, and I just make sure that I'm not looking at the charts a lot. I only look at the charts every day at a certain time before London. I do my markups and I wait for my setups. If they don't happen, I don't trade. I get up the next day and I start my routine over again. And then the weekends, I just have to kind of relax, reset, and make sure I go into that next week strong, and then execute on my trades and my trading plan.
Yeah, and from all of your success in trading and everything else that you've done, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Like, do you have any plans or goals that you're aiming for?
Um, with my trading, I do eventually want to pursue opening my own academy, and I do want to, help others learn the skill and the skill set, and that's something I
Mm.
definitely want to pursue. Um, I would say in the next 3 to 5 years, I do want to have an academy, and I also do have aspirations of having my own trading floor one day, and managing capital. So yeah, so that's definitely where I see myself in the next 3 to 5 years, and I do want to pursue real estate and other businesses.
Are you doing drop shipping at all? Are you still doing any of that?
No, so I went down the drop shipping route, but that just got very saturated, that market as a whole.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, I hated dealing with fulfilling orders and then having to deal with customer service emails. it seemed like I was putting in a lot of work, and I think it was just a very saturated market. I don't. I think the thing I loved about trading was that it was just me and my computer and my mind, and there's no cap to your income. I mean, I completely control my income, and that's something that was really attractive to me. I don't think there's anything else in the world where I any other route I could take that I could get from what I can get from trading, right? It's just a completely
Mm,
different route to go than anything else. And I just really love that because it was something that I controlled, and that's something that I had to make sure my mind was powerful, and that was something that was really cool for me. There was just something about trading that made me say this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's just something about it that was really attractive to me. And yeah, I just really gained a passion for it, no matter whether I was, falling on my face or not. I was excited the next day to go learn more, figure out what I did wrong. And I think that's something cool to find, right? Because some people never
yeah,
find that, right? So that was something really cool that I was able to find what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I was excited to do it. And it gives you financial freedom, right? And it gives you the opportunity to do things you wouldn't be able to do at a 9 to 5, right? It
mm,
gives you a lot of doorways to a different lifestyle, and freedom that you wouldn't really get anywhere else, right? Because with most
yeah,
businesses, you're still constantly, you know, managing things versus trading is you have a certain time you trade. And honestly, like when you have your 30, 40K or even 20K months, you don't have to trade every day. You don't have to trade every day, and you can take 1 week off and you can trade the following week. That's one thing I love about trading is you don't have to constantly be trading. And even trading a couple times a week or even a couple times in 2 weeks, you can still make that money you need to make to live a good lifestyle. And I think that's something very, very special that you can't really find in other places.
I 100% agree with trading is one of the few things out there where you can make quite a lot of money but not really work many hours.
Exactly.
Especially if your strategy is something where it only takes you, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes to do, and you have enough capital, you can make a lot of money
Exactly.
in not very much time. So, is there anyone inside or outside of trading that you look up to?
Um, I would definitely in trading, I definitely think someone that inspired me was Q Banks. I remember when I was first getting into trading. Have you heard of Q Banks?
No.
Okay, yeah. So he started Forever and Profit, and I when I first got into trading, he was the first trader I saw that really was living the lifestyle that I wanted. And that was the first academy I joined, and that's how I really got the foundation of my trading. And he really inspired me to pursue trading and work hard through the obstacles. Seeing where he came from in his journey from working at Target part time to becoming a full time trader and living the lifestyle he wants to live. um, so that's someone I really looked up to, definitely starting out on my trading journey and
Hmm.
to this day. And I think it really inspired me to keep pushing and know that um, I can reach my goals and my dreams with trading. It just takes time and hard work. And then, outside of that, I would say just within my own family, my brother, I kind of followed in his footsteps, joining the Marine Corps. And, you know, I saw him become very successful in the corporate world, right? And he got to live the lifestyle he wanted to live. And he was very successful and very motivated person. And, I wanted to accomplish that as well. I wanted to be successful when I saw him become successful, and it just really motivated me that I can accomplish that too, seeing someone that I really look up to. And being my own blood, I will accomplish something so great. And I just really wanted to go out and do that with my own style, with what I want to pursue, and just become very successful and accomplish accomplish my goals and dreams. Yeah, and I think he was a very important role model in my life. And I think that's how I really became a motivated person. And I have to give that to him. Um, just yeah, I think he was probably the biggest impact on my journey throughout my whole life, whether it was the military or now even trading. He just motivated me to become the best version of myself and become successful since I was a kid. So
Did you know about him before you started trading, or was that something that you had to research into?
so originally I came across his page when I started looking into Forex. I was on Instagram and then, I was looking up people who trade, right? And then this was like the first month that I even knew about Forex. I got into it. I went on his page and I looked at his profile and everything like that, and I was just astonished at what trading can do for you. And that was
Mm.
within like the first month of my trading, so it was about a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I never stopped trading. So I've known about him for about a year and 6 months.
We kind of deviated a little bit there. Um,
Yeah.
just to kind of pull it back, what would you say makes you a profitable trader?
I would definitely say that what makes me a profitable trader is risk management. Because at the end of the day, risk management is how you are going to be profitable. Because if you don't know how to manage your risk, no matter how many trades you win or lose, you're
Mm.
not going to come out profitable. And I think that's a key component that's black and white. I don't think there's any wiggle room around that. You need to know risk management. You need to manage your money properly, just like any hedge fund would or any institutional bank would, right? So I think that's a key component that really took me from not being profitable to being profitable. And then, obviously, figuring out how I see the market and what works for me and not trying to, follow Q Bank's strategy to the T because he sees the
Mm.
market different than I do, right? I did learn, most of my strategy from him, but then again, I incorporated how I see the market and what makes sense to me. And that's what really pushed me through my breakthrough, along with risk management. And that's how I really gained profitability is understanding I see the market different than anyone else. So if anyone else was to send me a markup of their chart and it went against mine, that doesn't mean that I should, change my markup and go with what they're doing. It's how I see the market. And the only way I'm going to become profitable is, taking my own markups and how I see the market and adjusting if I win or lose to that, right? Instead of
Mm.
letting others' opinions of the market affect me. And I used to let that happen a lot when I was in these, chat groups, trading rooms, so on and so forth. I would let other people's markups affect my own decision making in the market. And when I came to the realization that once I follow my own markups and I learn from my losses and I learn from my mistakes and I fix my strategy and my knowledge of the market, that's when I will actually become self sufficient and profitable in the market. And then obviously managing risk, right? It's just, I can't stress how important that was in my trading journey. As soon as I was able to do that and understand risk management to the T, I was able to really gain that profitability.
Mm. And what's some non-conventional advice that you would give to a trader that wants to succeed?
I would say advice that I wish I had when,
Mm.
I was going down my trading journey that, many people you learn from don't talk about. And again, it's going to come back to, not comparing yourself to other people and seeing people who are already profitable and their profits. Don't let that affect you and don't feel like you need to be there already because I can promise you they were at where you are at currently. They went through the struggle. They went through like, oh, how am I going to make it as a trader? And that doubt you have when you're going through this journey, it is normal and it is okay to feel that way. You just need to understand that, you know, eventually you will get there. Even if you can't see the light in the tunnel, you can't see the other side of that tunnel, you're gonna get there, and it's just gonna happen, 1 month or in like some week throughout the year where it's gonna hit you, and you're gonna start understanding things over time, right? And eventually you're gonna get to the place and you're like, wow, like I'm finally there, right? And throughout my journey, I always had doubt. I was like, am I like, will I even be able to accomplish it? And I had that self doubt because no one talked about their struggles and them going through that journey and facing obstacles, falling on their face, right? And that was something I always wondered when I looked at other traders making profits. I was like, you know, did they go through the same issues I was going through? Did they have the same type of self doubt? Like, did they not see the light at the end of the tunnel? So on and so forth, right?
Mm,
And I think my biggest advice is don't compare yourself to other people. Don't rush the process. Take your time and learn the process, and eventually you're going to get there. And that's one thing, a mistake I made was I would rush the process. I was like, I need to make this as fast. And I was trying to prove myself, and that was only holding me back. That was only delaying the process for me, was because, I was rushing. And you just need to trust the process. You need to keep pushing. You need to stay disciplined in learning and learning your craft, working on your craft on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's the best advice outside of the technicals and, the normal rules that every trader should have is don't compare yourself to others, and just understand that whatever you're going through in your journey, other traders are also going through and have been through, right? They didn't just immediately become profitable. And that's
mm.
one thing that will destroy you as a trader is self-doubt, and it will really hurt your psychology. But yeah, to all the new traders or anyone going through this journey, don't give up, and understand that you will eventually get there. It will only take time, right? Eventually you will get there when you put in the work, and it is not impossible, and you will accomplish what you need to accomplish one day.
Very nice. And is there anything else that you would like to say? And also, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I don't really have much more to say. I think we covered a lot of topics. But
Mm-hmm.
if you guys want to find me, my Instagram ad is Rohail ROHAIL_FX. So you can definitely reach out to me on there if you have any questions, or you just want to connect. And I also have a trading room where I do send out my trades, and the link is in my bio if you guys would like to join.